Today's tutorial is all about patchy foundation, why it happens and how to fix it. Let's go. Most of you might know this, but I'm all about skincare instead of primer. That being said, that could be your culprit, your primer or your skincare, either one. I'm going to apply this one from Elemis, the Cica Calm. I love this one so much. It's just so good. So we're just going to apply this, and we're talking about this because dry time. Some of you might know this, but some of you might have just stumbled upon this video. Letting your skincare dry down is so important, because if it's not dried down, you're going to put your foundation on, you're going to have patchy chaos. So I know that we don't always have a lot of time for skincare to dry down, but if you have at least 3 minutes, 7 minutes is the best, but please, at least 3 minutes. This feels wet on my face. If your skincare feels wet, it's gonna mess up your foundation. A hand fan, Amazon. This will speed up that process. Now this is gonna be so controversial. Honestly, I might have to delete this video after I post it. It's me, y'all know better. I have never in my makeup life had issues mixing water-based with oil-based, all of that, because I'm using such small amounts of the product. It's not like I'm mixing salad dressing where it's very large parts of the ingredients. For me, I just find that I'm using these small amounts and I never have issues. So I never go, is this water-based? Is this water-based? Is it gonna work together? It could be something you might wanna look into, but for me, I don't have that issue and never have, even when I first started my makeup journey. I also wanna mention, I forgot to mention this when I was talking about the skincare, but proper skin prep can slow down that dry time. It's not gonna stop the dry time, but it slows it down, so we do have a little extra time to work the foundation in and get it really smooth across the face. So we'll come back to this one. We're gonna use this one today. It's just such a great example. But I want to show you other foundations that have very similar dry times to this one. This one from Dior, it's a matte foundation, and this goes for most matte foundations. This would be one that would dry down really quickly. I'm going to show you the proper application like I mentioned, but this would be one that would dry down very quickly. Also, this one from KVD, the new serum foundation, it is one that wants to dry, and then if we were to go back over it with our tool, no matter our tool, it's going to cause patchiness. This one from Makeup Forever, I love this one, by the way, but this is one that is long wearing. Look for long wear even in the name. Even the one from Maybelline, the skin tint, that is a long wear product. So you would think skin tint, oh, that's just regular. We'll just throw that on. That is best applied in sections. And I'm gonna show you how to do it in just a second, but this is such important information. All right, let's do this. My perfect shade is Outdoor Beige. This is really important. It's important with most and really all long wear foundations. Really any foundation. Give it a good shake. So the number one thing for me that would separate my makeup was me using a damp sponge. I don't care if I wrung that sponge out, it's still going to add water into the foundation. I preached that before I had the brushes. This is a very lovely, wonderful brush, yes. But that being said, that sponge, this isn't about the brush. It's really and truly about just that application. That sponge can separate it. It can add water into it. And no matter how much I would wring it out, I still just didn't even get the coverage that I wanted out of the foundation. I feel like sponges, if you like a lighter, light coverage, yes. But if you're wanting to have that foundation perform the way that it's meant to be performing, sponges, they can put a little damper on that. Moral of the story is, if you're still having patchiness and you're using that damp sponge, that might be the reason. Also, even if the sponge is dry, it's a sponge and it just wants to go. It wants to absorb, that's what they do. So that might be one of the issues. If not, we still got more to talk about here. The prime example of a long wear, fast drying foundation. So if you have a double wear foundation and you're not working in sections, you might not be getting the most out of it. So for me, I work in sections, and what I'm letting you do is I'm letting you see that this is going to completely dry down. The moment it dries down and I continue to go over this with that brush, I'm going to get patchiness. This isn't about patchiness, but it's about picking out your shade. Also with foundations, let them completely dry. This isn't dry yet. You're gonna see it look completely different. I'm gonna swatch the same color next to it in just a second and you're gonna see that. So if you're just kind of swatching that foundation and you're just like, oh yeah, that looks good, please just wait for it to dry down. That way you can see what it's actually gonna look like. So now our double wear here is dry and I'm gonna start to just kind of move it. Notice it's not really moving. That's what we want. That's a very good thing. But imagine a brush or a damp sponge just continuing to go on it when it's dry. All you're gonna get is patchiness, separation, just absolute chaos. Now let me swatch. This is the same color. Look at that. Look at how different that looks. This completely melted into my skin the way it should, but look at this difference. That's why we have to wait for it to dry down to choose our shade. So I have it here on the back of my hand, and this might seem like completely irrelevant, but I try to keep it in a big lump. I don't let it spread out too far on my hand, and the reason why is because dry time. It's not gonna be able to dry like this, so we want that pretty thick on our hand, that way we can work in sections. Remember, if you don't wanna use your hands, I don't mind using them, but you could just get a makeup spatula on Amazon. So affordable. I'm gonna start on my jawline. We're gonna place it, okay? It's placed. We're ready to blend. We have our Rose and Then Beauty C42 ready, and we're gonna start here at the jawline. Now, it's not like we need to be in a race. That's not what it is. Again, we have the skin prep there to kind of slow it down, but we are working in these sections. Okay, blend, blend, blend. Also notice that I'm tapping up and down. I'm pressing, I'm not swiping. Any kind of long wear foundation does not like swiping. Press, press, press. Okay, we're ready for some more. Let's do another nice thin layer. That should get us through the rest of this cheek and the side of our nose. Perfect. I cannot continue to stress enough how important pressing is and not swiping. I know I'm just a broken record at this point, but you're gonna get more coverage out of your foundation and it's not gonna patch. It won't patch up, I promise. If you go and watch all of the pro makeup artists, you're gonna see most of them are doing these pressing motions. Now I can feel, you can even just do a quick little tap, I can feel that this isn't dry. So if you do wanna layer it up for a little bit more coverage, right now is the time. Again, we talked about that skin prep slowing it down. So we're able to build it up. Look at how beautiful and smooth. No patchiness. We're having a good time. I just remember when I first started my makeup journey, I had no idea. I didn't have anyone. YouTube wasn't even around at the time, so there were just a lot of tears that washed off my makeup. Quick reminder, notice how I worked in the sections. We went here, then we went here, took it over here, and then we did that side of the forehead. We're gonna do the same thing over here. This is a beautiful foundation. I forget how pretty it is. Let's do the same thing on this side. Just gonna let this run because it's really satisfying to watch this brush blend foundation in. Don't forget the ear. Back, grab some more, smooth it out. We're gonna move on to concealer. This foundation isn't completely set yet, and of course there's no powder on it, so we're not gonna have any trouble blending this in. Especially not around the eye area since I didn't put the foundation there. Oh, this is from Natasha Denona, and the shade I use is R5. Blend it in with our C31. I also will say that this concealer is very pigmented, and that means that it would fill in any gaps. Say that the wetness from this concealer, maybe it might separate something, you're not gonna see it. And the reason why is because there's so much pigment there to kind of fill in that gap. The gap being the patchiness. So you don't really have to worry about that at all when it comes to this concealer. And that's one of the reasons I look for concealers that are very pigmented. Now I wanna show you some products that I don't recommend with a long wear, fast drying foundation. These are gonna pair beautifully with dewy foundations, skin tints. They're gonna be great, but we're getting dry now. We're entering our dry era, if you will. Something like this formula, beautiful formula. It's a 10 out of 10 would recommend, but this very wet formula here on top of this almost set foundation is just going to be a mess. It's going to be an absolute wet, dewy mess. This is just too wet of a formula. I'm just using this one as an example. There's a lot of really wet, creamy blushes that have that similar texture. A liquid blush, that's where the patchiness comes in. The Rare Beauty on top of this, we might be running into issues. This would be a great formula to pair with it. It's just creamy enough. Do you see how it kind of leaves my fingerprints in there? That kind of shows you that it would be dry enough to not separate, but also creamy enough to blend. Same with bronzer. This one right here, this one would get me. It would have gotten me. Beautiful formula, but if your foundation is long wearing at all, you run the risk. It's not always gonna happen. Now I'm on a makeup journey where I could definitely I could get this on top of here. But depending on where you're at in your makeup journey, this might be a very wet situation that could absolutely just sabotage your foundation. Same brand, Mob Beauty. This is the cream bronzer M77. I'm gonna pick this up on my C40. And obviously the fibers, they pick up the product really beautifully. See how there's no lumps? And now again, with those tapping, stippling motions up and down, up and down, up and down. It's so important. I know it's annoying, but it's gonna make such a difference. I'm gonna tap back in. Just creamy enough to melt in, but not too wet where it starts to separate. Now, of course, the even easier route is just to set and use powder blush, powder bronzer, powder everything else. But I have faith in y'all and I want y'all to learn. I want y'all to learn every way to do it. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. This is Mob Beauty cream blush. Shade is M72. Same technique. Okay, we see that. There we go. And then, again, tap that on. Oh, that's a really pretty shade. Thought it would tie into the eyes nicely. And now we're almost to the powder part. We're gonna start to set. Another thing that can cause patchiness is going in with uneven powder. Woo! Listen, even that powder out on your hand. I know some of us might think, wow, that's being really wasteful. You can grab it all back. It's back in here. There's the tiniest amount here. Plus, I don't even know how long it takes me to go through one of these, over a year. And I do my makeup multiple times a day. So all that chatting, let's make sure that this is nice and smoothed out. Okay. Now we want to set that under eye first so we can set it evenly and all at once. That's going to help with that wear time and it's just going to make it look so smooth. Just kind of keep going back and forth. It's important to get that really smoothed out. And then we'll use the Givenchy to set the center of the face. So the pink is going to brighten fair to light, light medium, almost into medium tan skin tones. And I want a brightening effect through the center of my face, so that's why we're using the Givenchy here. Well, I'm finishing up the eye, but I did want to mention that I cannot recommend a puff enough, and the reason why that rhymed. And the reason why is because it just sets so evenly and all at once. It really makes a major difference, especially under the eyes. I'm gonna finish up the lips with y'all. This is the YSL Candy Glaze in shade 15. Woo! That is luscious. Somewhere in the tutorial I got wild and I touched the lenses, so it might be just a little bit blurry, but I wiped it off. That way you can see the finished product here. Look at how smooth this is. This looks so good. I forget how good double wear is when you apply it the way that we did today. Now, you might need to rewatch this a couple times. That was a lot of information, but something you can quickly take away is when looking at your foundation and reading that bottle, look for words like long wear and look for the word matte. And now you know how to apply it. You're unstoppable. Okay, that's gonna be it for today. If you're wondering about the other products that I use, just always check the description bar. I know things aren't labeled, but it's in the description. That way you can just go check it out, see what I used. And just know this, I love you so much.